They were in 6th grade in Ridge School 50 years ago. And that's what's so special about today. They are the people who buried their time capsule. Now, I have been calling them, when I've talked about the time capsule, the kids, like this. These are the kids, and look, there they are. That's what they look like. This is right here in our gym. Is the curtain the same? Are the steps the same?
No, I didn't want to get in the way of your picture. Go for it.
Okay. They sure are. Look, right here. They're sitting on these very steps. So that the curtain was different, but still the same room. And still the same people. Did you hear the song that's playing?
Monday, Monday.
What do you think is special about this song? What do you think, Emily?
Monday, Monday, and trust that day.
It was a popular song in 1966 by the Mamas and the Papas, called Monday, Monday. And what's today? Was it a Monday 50 years ago? Was it? Anybody remember? Do you remember what day of the week it was?
What's today? It's Monday, Monday.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to the kid who was the organizer of all this. This is Chris. Say hello to Chris.
Hello, everybody.
Normally we'd probably call him Mr. Nilsson, but because he's a kid, we'll call him Chris.
Don't call me Mr. Nelson. My father's name is Mr. Nelson. My name is Chris.
So I'm going to hand it over to Chris. Now, he's going to update you on their time capsule. And we're going to hear from the kids, and we're going to have a chance to ask them some questions, too. So let's give a round of applause to Chris.
So does everybody kind of recognize what this is? So this is the original map of the school. And there's a lot of parts of the school that haven't been built yet 50 years ago. But that's our original classroom. And the D for Mr. DeFalco, our beloved 6th grade teacher. Now, I understand there is no more 6th grade at Ridge, right? You only go up to 5th grade. All right, and then you're going to go off to George Washington Junior High School, or whatever they call it now?
Middle school.
Middle school.
GW Middle School.
Right. So at any rate, this was our original school, and we believe that we buried a time capsule, 50-year-old, we know we buried it. We believe it's right up there in red dot. And the way we found it, or the way we were attempting to find it, I should say, is we've drawn lines from our classroom, from the hill out in the back, and also there's one other line here from a house that no longer exists. So this wasn't a little bit too helpful. And then there's an old road. You guys know where the circle is, right? And then there's an old road that goes all the way back up to the fence.
What's right next to the circle now? The castle. That's how we know it is. The castle playground.
And so 15 feet from that road and 4 feet in from the property line, and we brought in a metal detector and we scanned the area hoping that we would find it. And we were pretty sure we had pinpointed the spot, and so we brought in some equipment. Some of you have probably seen it up there. We've been up there all weekend, and we started digging away, and we actually dug, and we dug, and we dug, and we're still digging. So, but we're not giving up, right? And I understand that you guys are putting together a time capsule of your own. What are you going to put in it? Have you decided yet?
Here it is, Chris. That's our time capsule. The HSA bought it for us. It's an actual official time capsule that we can seal, and hopefully everything will stay safely in there.
So what we did back in 1966, and I first should say, we've been still digging and we're not really sure where our time capsule is yet. We're going to go back up later and look around a little bit more, and we're actually thinking of bringing in a company that does like ground radar detection. Because digging has just not been doing it for us. But let me tell you what we put in our time capsule. That song you were just listening to, Monday, Monday, that was on something called a 45 record. And this is what, as kids, this is what we listened to. We had record players. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have anything like YouTube. So we had to go downtown to Ridgewood and buy these little records to listen to music. They called it a record store, that's right, very good. And the group that you were just listening to was the Mamas and the Papas. And they did the #1 song of the week called Monday, Monday. That was the song you just heard. So we buried a copy of that record in our time capsule. Also in 1966, it was the very first year that Batman came out. Batman was a very, that's 50 years ago, and Batman's still around today, right? Still digging on Batman? Are we all digging on Batman? Well, we buried a kite, a Batman kite that you see in the upper right hand there. We also buried a copy of TV Guide. You know, in 1966, not everybody had a color TV. Some people didn't have television at all. Can you believe that? No TV at all. And a lot of TVs were just black and white, so TV was huge, especially color TV. Everybody read magazines because there was no internet. There was nothing else to read but magazines and newspapers back then. That is one of our president's brothers. He also ran for president at one point in the 60s, in 1966, so we buried a copy of Life magazine. Finally, we buried a copy of the Car magazine from 1966. Did you ever hear of the Dodge Charger? It was brand new back then. It was brand new 50 years ago. You've heard of it. The last couple of things that we buried were really, I think, the most special things, and maybe that'll give you guys a hint as to what you want to put in your time capsule. We took a movie of ourselves with a camera very much like the one you see on the left, and we had projectors very much like you see the young lady on the right. We used to take the film and run it through what was called a reel-based projector so that you could watch video, movies. And we'd all really love to see that because we all looked like you. And we're just dying to see what we look like when we look like you, other than that one picture. And then finally we made a tape recording of ourselves. And we recorded, each one of us recorded exactly what we wanted to be when we grew up. What do you want to do when you get older? Everybody's got an idea, so you got to make sure that you write that down, you record it someplace, you put it in this box, and I think you want to put it someplace where you'll definitely be able to find it. All right? Okay, what I'd like to do now is turn the microphone over to my friend Rick Koontz, who is just going to say a few words about our 6th grade teacher.
Thanks, Chris, and we are all so delighted to be here with you all today. Thank you, Chris. And thank you for hosting us, by the way, for this fun day. By the way, before we proceed, you know, Star Trek. Who here is a Star Trek fan? Okay, fun fact about Star Trek. What's unique about Star Trek? Anybody know? No. First TV show ever made into a movie. Okay? Okay, so that's another story for another time. But I want to talk to you for just a minute about our 6th grade teacher, Jerry DeFalco, Mr. D. We are all back here today, half a century later, because of the influence he had on all of us. And you know something, there's a great quote, a teacher teaches forever. And I think in our case, all of us would say that Jerry is in our hearts and minds to this day. And as Chris said, not a day has gone by, not a decade has passed, and we haven't thought about this day here today. And I will tell you personally, I think we're all, a little overwhelmed by your interest in this project. And we really want to be there for you as you plant your own time capsule in the years ahead. But Jerry DeFalco is a teacher that each of us has a story to share. And we're not going to do that today. But when you think about the teachers that you have here, think about the roles that they're playing in your lives. And believe me, you're going to remember the teachers you have today, 50 years on, when you're a little older, as we are today. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to another classmate, Maggie Mulhern. Maggie, please welcome Maggie.
Hi everyone, we are so excited to be here. Chris, Rick, Betsy Sullivan and myself are the committee and why we're speaking, but to just tag on to what Rick was saying, look at your teachers now. All the adults here and the other adults from our school who are sitting in the back, you asked any of us who was your favorite teacher, and it's one of the teachers from elementary school. So this is a message really to the teachers. You're in such a powerful position. What you're doing, the influence that you have on the children is just so important. We honor Mr. DeFalco because of what he did to us. One person learned how to play chess. I learned all about artists. I learned about Jackson Pollock and Mondrian from him, and it's just so powerful what you're going through. These are such important years. We're so excited for you, and again, we're so happy that you hosted us. I'm sending it over to Betsy Sullivan Gardner, who is going to talk about the class.
This is about the teachers, Mr. DeFalco.
Just hold it close to your mouth.
This is about Mr. DeFalco and all the teachers, but it's also all about you. And despite the fact that we were unable to find some of the things that were in our time capsule, which included, as Chris said, our recordings of what we wanted to be when we grew up, and letters that we had written. I'm not even sure what was in the letters, because I have no memory of that. What I am finding to be the absolute best part about this is that we really are kind of the time capsule. We have come together after 50 years from all over the country and, in our case, the world. So look at the people in your class, and one day you will come back together. And where will you all be coming from? We have someone here who's come from Switzerland. We've had someone here who's come from Florida, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Midland Park, very local. And despite what they said they wanted to do in their tape recording one day when they grew up, they have turned out, I don't know if they've done what they dreamed about doing, but we have a beauty editor who's from New Jersey. We have a property manager from New Hampshire. We have someone that works in the airline industry from Switzerland. We have an interior designer from Wisconsin. I'm a nurse from Washington, D.C. area. So think about that. You will find, when you come back together one day, you will be from all different parts of the world. And that's really what I found to be so important about this time capsule. And now I'm going to hand this.
Back to me, okay. Okay, so that was probably one of our questions, like, did anybody turn out to be what you thought you were going to be when you were in 6th grade? Did?